again with the walkie-talkie updates. So I did a lot of cleanup in the front here, and I wired all of my sensors to a DT connector, and I shoved everything back here and plugged it in and zip tied everything. So I can't really show you, but you get the idea. There's the crankcase pressure and vacuum. Here's the oil. It's got to go down. I'm changing my layout on this. The turbo oil feed pressure is going to be separate from the engine oil feed. So I got to move this. I taped it to part of the harness inside here. Making stuff nice, huh? So this is coolant pressure. And then this is fuel pressure. Right here is fuel pressure. This right here is for back pressure, EBP. I put a little label on there. And like my friend said, they're not going to stay. And I said, I know, but when I was looming all these together, I had a bunch of just the exact same connectors on here. So I did the braid on everything. So this connector goes to everything in the nose of the car. So I got a Bosch temperature map sensor. So I have a weld-in gusset bung, whatever you want to call it. So you cut out a little section here and we figure out where we're going to put it, and Tom is going to weld that on there, and then I can bolt this in. So what's cool is it's temperature and pressure, and I bought a 3-bar. So what it's going to do is it's going to measure the pressure and temperature out of the turbo outlet, what you would call outlet, turbo outlet temperature, or pre-intercooler and then post-intercooler, so you can see the effectiveness of your intercooler. The other way you can measure that is if this is seeing 30 pounds and this is seeing 25 pounds, you are getting a 5-pound pressure drop, and you can see your temperature range and everything else. So the other thing that this harness goes to is just this guy, which is ambient temp sensor. So what'll be neat is you can see the temperature of the incoming air, ambient temp. I'm going to try to mount it somewhere where it's not going to soak. I don't know. It's going to be difficult, right? Do I just like zip tie this thing or get a piece of rubber? Because this is just to hold the stuff in place, obviously. But I'm pretty happy with how this came out, and it just gets disconnected here. And then I zip tied. This is a vacuum block that takes the push lock, which I don't really like, but I'm going to try because it is easier and cleaner to use. I just got to get more of it. So this is from the back of this bank, and this one is from the back of this bank, and they're joined. And then these go to the blow-off valves. Part of this, like whipping it around, is keeping it very sturdy in place, like these two, giving them the nice bend here. So the wiring is connected to this. This is the IAT sensor that's broken out. So in the front here, keep everything away. And then it goes to a dome sensor also. And for fun, I also put in, this is boost control pre-wired. So what this has is, it has a 12-volt key-on power wire and a boost fill and a boost vent solenoid. So you can run the 2 connector. So I don't know if I want to do CO2. I don't know if I want to do single. I don't know if I want to do double electronic. So that's all of them. It's already put in there and pinned. So if I put all the stuff here, I wire all this to it and plug this into the solenoids. So if there's 2 solenoids, they both get power. So this will go to both of them, and then each one will get its own fill and vent. And I color-coded the wiring too, but you can't see it because I hid it so dang nice. So yeah, all of that's nice. I got this guy. I got to get more of these swivel bobs. So I got those guys coming. I at the very least, I want to have the lower references connected. And then, I'll buy a 3-port or a 4-port or something and start doing looping it all over the place. I got some. A friend of mine was like, hey, you need some of these? Man, I've never seen this many in my life. But now I have T's, 90s, straights, Y's, everything you can think of in there. The other issue was I'm been talking with a company about my brake lines because I hate doing them so much. It's called Finishing Lines. Finish Lines? No, it's Finishing Lines. And he does custom brake lines for like drift cars and ABS delete and everything else. He does really cool stuff. So, other than that, the brakes are going to come up quick. Measuring out everything for him. This came with the kit I bought, the stainless line, so I got that on. I gotta find if I have the push downs to mount these, but that's the stock mounting thing. That'll be nice. The PWM stuff, I didn't even video. I was so frustrated with it. So I got 3 of the Hella relays, and I would pulse width these 3, but they would not... I don't know what it is. They weren't happy unless they were singing. 75% plus duty cycle. And then in the short amount of time when I was testing, the relays were starting to get very warm. And I'm like, well, if I have to run this at 75% all the time and then kick it to just 100, it's hardly worth it. So for now, this is one of those things where there's too much time invested in it. It can be swapped, changed, whatever later. It's moving fuel and it's not leaking, so we're just skipping over that step. That, will probably get handled a different way some other day or never. Who cares? Time to move on. The fuel pumps. So the other thing was a bunch more needs to get done to the inside. Obviously, I like to make it work first, and then I can put this stuff away because I'm the kind of guy that will put this away nice and none of it'll work. So if I just check it first or lay it out a little bit, awesome. And then when I make sure I'm mostly not screwed, I can cut these to some sort of manageable length. Like all the stuff in the front came out nice because I knew exactly what I had to do with it. And I did end up taking the IAC wires and repinning them, which this is ugly again. Please don't cry. But I'm testing everything while I'm at this. Where are we? Let's turn this guy on. There. So, ugliness confirmed. What I was able to do was, so this is the input engine harness. This is the output, so this is A and B. And then in the other harness for the Holly, this is inputs and this is output harness. I was able to just unpin the IAC wires. We're all here at the edge and easily move them over here with room. You can still disconnect this and everything. So that was easy. If you have a drive-by-wire setup and you're going to add some Dominator stuff, you can move the pins right over. So see how easy it was to move all the purples over? So that's what I did. And trans is working. Wheels are turning. I got to get my transmission connector plugged in. There's just a little bit, not much room on the floor. I also got to wire this in, man. I got to wire the front wheel speed sensor. I should do that while I'm messing around and waiting for some brake parts. So, I only ordered 2 of these. I ordered 4, but Amazon thing got messed up, and I only got the 2. So I ordered another 2, and now it says the 2 I ordered and the old 2 that I ordered are on the way. So I guess we'll see what happens. So I just, I might have 4 coming. I might have 2. I might not have any. Then I want to get these hooked up. And then I have a fitting. So this is a 4AN outlet. And this is a 4AN. And I need... So I have it partially connected. I have the hose somewhere. I'm not going to dig it up. But it's going to do the steam vent to the top of the surge, degas, overflow, expansion, coolant tank. Man, that's really on there. And then I got to move the AN line into the front. I have it on the back side. I need to put it on the front side, like the thermostat suction side. So, yeah, I just have to move that, and then I can connect my heater hoses. So I got to go to AutoZone and get those, or if I can ever remember to order them on Amazon. I got the right caster camber plate, so these are for a Fox body. So it'll be cool. I can put these on my Fairmont. It has stock everything, so it'll be funny to put like adjustable aftermarket. Well, actually, it'll be neat to just like caster the hell out of it so it drives nicer. Put my turbo blankets on once we make sure everything isn't leaking. It looks like my power steering is filling and not leaking. It took fluid. Next time I can get it to run without any kind of craziness. And then once the coolant stuff is connected, I can wire... The fan is next, and hooking up an output for the fan. As I was grilled and realized later, the C7 is brushless. This isn't brushless. This is a 2-wire DC motor. This is a speed controller, technically, is what I'm going to call it. That's a ESC. So it takes DC voltage, and then there's a signal wire, which we're going to figure out, but I believe this box is on many things. You can actually use these to PWM fuel pumps. I heard you can get them on Fusion and some other things. Actually, a DC motor controller, etc. At least that's what I'm going to call it. So, everything's doing good. A little bit of dumb things, not that bad. People were asking what I did for the map sensor. So, before, man, I had a big vacuum leak, huh? I got to get a decent plug for that. Before, what I did was I just put in these hoses, these barbs up top, and I stuck them together and put this on a T-fitting, so it's getting the balance from each side or average from each side. What I might do later is do one map sensor per side. Obviously, it's only going to fuel off of the primary, but it'll be cool to do a check and balance to the secondary. But if the air fuels are fine, because I have two banks, I have that bank and this bank, NTKs, so nice baller stuff. If they are even, we're not doing any of that stuff. I'm just going to leave it averaged, and then, we'll see how those do progressively. Oh, I think that's all. I have some trusty, crusty plug wires on both sides. I could not find anything I liked, and I knew that I had these nice 90s. So maybe I'll just leave an homage to Sloppy, like my bottom of the ocean starter over there. And my coil wires and some other things are definitely old and not the prettiest. But yeah, here we go. Here we are. Everything's doing pretty good. The wires for the pumps are wired all totally hot, like I said. Still measuring out this brake stuff. Hopefully Dudes, this is a different thread than this is a different thread. The one's like 3/8, the one's like something 16ths. They're both 3/16 hose. And then back here on the rear, this is like some weird ass. I don't have it. This is all brand new brakes, but not the hose. So there's a hard line that comes off the back of this caliper, and it has a block, like a giant banjo block. And then that goes like all the way around, and it's this giant ugly thing, and I don't have any provisions for any of it. And when I was talking to, is it Josh? I think it's Josh at Finish Lines. I'm like, I just want something to go straight into this. I don't want to have 6 adapters on this thing. It's a solid rear, like, it's almost annoying enough to make me want to like drill and tap my own stuff in there. But supposedly it's a banjo metric, I think, but I just don't know what it is. If you guys know what the thread is on V6 Mustang, I think the GT is exactly the same. The rear, so this is an 02, so what is that? 2000? 99, 2000? Do they do New Edge in 99? Maybe, I don't know. I had a 2000 and it was most certainly a New Edge. If you guys know what thread this is, that'd be awesome, because he can build, he can build a banjo end with the curved hardline in it already to get to the top of the tube and mostly out of the way. But yeah, we'll figure that out. So if you can let me know, you would please let me know. I would appreciate knowing. On top of that, I want to run it a few more times, tighten everything, go over like these bolts now, because like everything in the turbo kit got slightly warped from all the welding, and it's stainless and nothing's perfect. So heat cycle it a few times, snug everything down, no problems. And maybe I'll even start putting my dash in so we can see the pretty dash and get everything else sorted. I still have a problem with my key on and stuff, and you know what I'm going to do is just buy the ECU harness that I removed. Because I bought this, I thinned mine out, it's still over there. I thinned mine out and stuff stopped working. And I noticed really badly stuff stopped working after I pulled the ECU. But I had asked people, I'm like, hey, do you have the stock ECU? And they're like, no. But I don't think they pulled out as much as I, did. I don't think they did the same thing. So it's like $100 for the ECU side. I'll just plug everything in again. You can see I haven't cut any of this. I'm worried. So I'm going to buy the other side so everything I cut out, I'm going to buy and put back in. Because I've been wasting so much time trying to research why it's being a pain in the ass that I've wasted so much time that buying that, and if everything works, and slowly going through it one at a time, because it seems like you're doing fine when the car isn't running and you're just removing some wires. You're like, oh, I'm good. And now, like, door locks, four ways, everything stops working. And you're like, well, I want to have keyless entry in my car that had keyless entry before I did this to it. Anyway. Thanks for watching. Do it for Dale. We'll freaking see you later.